Happy birthday, Rotarians. It was 90 years ago, as you know, this month that our club was chartered, and I think we've got much to celebrate. Today we take time to look over our shoulders and look at that long line of Rotarians who preceded us, and they left quite a mark. It all goes back to St. Patrick's Day, 1920. 1920 was an interesting year. That's the year that women got the right to vote. Peace signing with coming out of World War I was less than 1 year old at that time. And the Grant car that was manufactured in Findlay up until 1920 ceased being produced here. And the town of Findlay was a population of approximately 17,000. The charter that you see is also displayed in the pamphlet that I've distributed to you. You'll note it's under date of March 1, and that indeed was the date the charter was signed by Rotary International, and the presentation came on March 17th of that same year. And as you probably know, the charter night was at the Elks Home, and the Rotary Club, of course, was present as the sponsoring club. It's interesting, the club continued to meet at the Elks for the next 86 years, and I suspect that must be some kind of a record in Rotary International for the length of time meeting in one location. The Elks was 5 years old, the building, the structure at the time the charter was granted. I joined the club, as was said, in 1952. The club met on Thursday noons until 1954. Park Dennius was the president at that time, and I'll never forget what accounted for the change to Monday. There was a club assembly with all the committee chairmen assembling in July, and they were discussing club business. And Lou Love, whom some of you may remember, Lou was a senior member of Rotary at that time, and he was a senior executive at National Lime & Stone. And Lou got up and said, he said in a very loud voice, "Why in the name of God do we meet on Thursdays?" 2 weeks later we met on Monday. And has ever since. Now, one vivid memory I'd like to share with you of a Rotary meeting. This was at the Elks. Fred Graff was the club president at that time. And Dr. Gail Ritz, president of Weinbrenner Seminary, spoke to us. And he spoke on the interesting subject of archaeology. It was a rather dry subject. Gail was used to speaking in 50-minute classroom increments. He droned on for a long time. The clock finally arrived at 1:45, and Gail was still going. 3/4 of the seats were empty. And then he said, "Now for the second part of my talk." Fred Graff very graciously said, "Gail, we'll have to have you back for that."